Hello, everyone, and welcome to the eighth episode of Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith. I'm with Isaac Bruce again. Isaac, it was bound to happen, but we lost our first series in 10 series. So, what are your thoughts?
Um, you know, Blue Jays are always tough. They always play us well, especially in Seattle. It's a it's a tough crowd to play in front of because as as a team up in Seattle, we're usually very separated from all the other teams that we play. So we don't see a lot of away fans in T-Mobile Park. But whenever we play the Blue Jays, there's a lot of Blue Jays fans in our stadium. So it almost feels like we're on the road. Tough crowd to play in front of, and the pitching this series just hasn't been where it needs to be for us to win series. In Sacramento, I should say, it was the pitching was also a little bit shaky, but the offense was there to bail us out. And the offense just hasn't been quite as electric and quite as high level this series. It's not something that we shouldn't need the offense to score 6 runs a game to win. Like, that's not a fair expectation of our offense. Our offense isn't built to do that. And the fact that we have done that is an anomaly, and we just need to give up less runs. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, like for example, Logan Evans. I don't expect Logan Evans to be like a star type of guy,
Mm-hmm.
but Luis Castillo, I certainly do. Like,
Yes.
you're, we got this guy from the Reds to be your ace.
Uh huh.
Obviously, Logan Gilbert has surpassed that, and hopefully he comes back from the IL sooner rather than later. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Luis Castillo is expected to be that guy that has the stuff to
Mm-hmm.
live in the zone to like get the strikeouts. His four seam fastball has dipped from around 98 to around 95, 94 now.
Mm-hmm.
And his two seam doesn't get enough spin
Yep.
to actually generate that swing and miss because right now he has to start it barely off of the like placement that he's putting it at. And so nobody's really not seeing what he's doing right now. I think Luis Castillo just needs to get back into the groove,
Mm-hmm.
whatever he's got to do, right? But I do think that he must be a little bit in that declining stage. I hope he comes
Mm-hmm.
back.
Yeah. No. From Luis Castillo, I think we just need to see more of the off speed. He needs to be better at generating swings and misses with the off speed. Um, since his tenure has started here in Seattle, he's been very dependent on that fastball and that fastball being lively and hard to hit, even when it's in the zone. And of late, we've just seen it's not hard to hit when it's in the zone. It's clearly just not. Everybody's seeing it. Everybody's hitting it. Not to be too critical of Luis Castillo, obviously, but he, fastball can be thrown over the heart of the plate. It just can be, especially when it's 94 miles an hour and flat. You know, Hopefully he can figure out how to generate more run, more ride on those pitches. Um, but until then, he just has to do a better job locating them. Otherwise, he's going to get banged around the ballpark, and we can't allow 5 runs from our starters. We don't
Yeah.
have the bullpen for that. We don't have the offense for that. Um, Luis Castillo, I think, will settle in. I think he'll figure it out. He's a veteran. I don't think obviously he's declined a little bit in the last couple of seasons, but I don't think that this start is indicative of what his season is going to look like. I think it was more of a bump in the road, but you know, disappointing start from Castillo for sure, but he'll bounce back. So
Yeah, I think with Castillo, the big thing here is that I think that he's going to not bounce back and become that like 98 mile per hour like
correct,
fastballs crazy
of
guy.
course,
I think
yes,
it's not that the expectation is going to be lower. I think it's that the expectation is going to change. I think Luis Castillo as a player is going to be a little bit different than Luis Castillo 2022. And I mean
absolutely,
that we for example, Jacob DeGrom from the Texas Rangers.
absolutely.
He's a different player. And we're not saying he's worse. Obviously,
He is,
we're
but
yeah, he is,
yes,
but
yes,
he's not like the worst player. He's
right.
just
He's
different.
just had he just has to adapt and change how he pitches based on the reality of his stuff isn't what it
Yeah.
once was. Luis Castillo's still trying to pitch like he's throwing at 98 miles an hour with 12 inches of run, and that's just not the reality. So, I think we'll see him make those adjustments, and I think I think we'll see a good season out of Castillo.
Yeah, and speaking of pitching, George Kirby made his second start.
Yep,
His fastball ranged from 95 to 97 miles an hour, so that's
yep,
pretty good.
yep.
Our guys are predominantly, including like Brian Wu and Bryce Miller, are throwing around 97 miles an hour. So that's
Yep.
pretty good from our
Yep.
starters.
Hmm.
Hopefully George Kirby comes back soon. This is his second rehab start. I assume there's going to be one more and then maybe he comes back.
Yep.
But yeah, things are looking a little bit brighter for us.
Yep. Absolutely. And as we start to get some of those pitchers back, we'll be able to transition Logan Evans back down into AAA probably to kind of continue that development. That which he needs. He's been serviceable up in the majors. You can't really be upset with his performances, but he just needs to retool a little bit and maybe locate a little bit better. He's left some pitches over the middle of the plate. And again, as we've talked about, if you don't have electric stuff, you just can't leave the ball over the plate. So similar to the little bit of issues Bryce Miller's been having this year with his fastball. His fastball is really effective at the top of the zone, but if it's not at the top of the zone, that ride actually doesn't help you. In some cases, it can hurt you, right? Because of how flat it becomes when it's at the bottom of the zone, just from a hitter's perspective. So yeah, hopefully the pitching kind of starts to fall into place a little bit more as the season moves on. Everybody kind of settles in a little bit more. Mariners coaching staff has done a great job over the years. They've prided themselves on keeping these pitchers healthy by kind of having shorter starts at the beginning of the season, and as we move into May and into June, we're going to see longer starts from the starters. Hopefully, Matt Brash back in the bullpen hasn't allowed an earned run yet. We're not really seeing him in the super high leverage spots yet. Dan letting him kind of settle back in a little bit, which is good and important. We don't want to just throw him immediately into a super high leverage spot. Um, but yeah, no, it's starting pitching's been all right to start the year. Um,
And like Bryce Miller, you just talked about him. Bryce Miller used to be a two pitch guy.
yeah,
We used to think that he was going to be in the bullpen because all he throws was fastball slider. I mean, that's basically Munoz's repertoire.
yes,
And so that's what we thought he was going to be. And like he if he pitches the fastball in the top of the zone, the ride gives him that swing and miss. If
yep,
he puts that fastball in the bottom of the zone, then the next pitch he can go slider, swing and miss. People
right,
think that it's going to be the fastball, stuff like that. Like Miller's Miller's stuff is really good.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we can say that about a lot of people. I mean, I guess like someone like Shintaro Fujinami, who's in the minors right now, is struggling because he can't locate that in the zone
Mm-hmm.
because he has the stuff. Like so many of these guys have the stuff. Logan
Mm-hmm.
Evans has the stuff. Like George Kirby has the stuff. Logan Gilbert has the stuff. All of our guys have the stuff as long as they can put it in the zone like they used to, like
Yeah,
first pitch strike has been like the Mariners thing last year.
yep,
That's why the Mariners were number one in ERA for at least as long as I can remember. And if they can start getting that first pitch strike again,
mm-hmm.
it's it's going to be good. Our guys
Absolutely.
have the stuff to do that.
Absolutely. The Mariners pitching staff certainly has the stuff to put guys away. And Julian, you are correct. Getting ahead in the count is a big piece of that, right? Obviously, pitching from an 0-1, 0-2, 1-2 count is much easier than pitching in 2-1, 3-1 counts. So Kirby, struggled a little bit in his second rehab start, and part of that was two walks, which is abnormal from George Kirby. So hopefully that location continues to improve through his remaining rehab starts. And hopefully we can have him back for that end of May ETA that Hollander gave a couple of weeks ago. Dylan Moore back, big piece, obviously, of this offense. Hopefully he can continue to produce. He came back to immediate effect in Sacramento. Second game in the A's series, he came back and immediately had a sac fly. So, Dylan Moore continues to get the job done. New pickup over the last week. Leody Taveras, off of waivers from the Rangers. Julian, do you have any knee jerk reaction thoughts on that move?
Yeah, surprised.
Yep, I
Um,
would agree.
didn't expect the Mariners to go for Leody Taveras.
Yep,
I understand why.
yep,
I mean, we did lose Victor Robles, and then we thought Luke Raley was going to be good in that spot until Luke Raley's now
yes.
gone. So I'm really happy with the move because
Hmm.
Leody Taveras can hit from both sides.
Yep,
He can defend. That's the big one because
yep.
our outfield defense, other than a Rosarena's arm, a Rosarena's speed makes him a pretty solid defender nonetheless.
Uh-huh.
But like our defense in general in the outfield is really good, and
Yep,
so adding Leody Taveras really gives the Mariners an edge.
yep,
If the Mariners say, "Look, Leody Taveras is now a good hitter," therefore, when Victor Robles or Luke Raley comes back, he can play first base. Now you've got more versatility in the lineup, and I think that's where, sure, maybe he ends up being one of your DH first baseman
yep.
guys that I guess the Mariners have so much of because I mean like Mitch Garver and like all these
Yeah.
guys. But if Leody Taveras can be like one of those guys, one of the guys that not to say elite the way that like a Bryce Harper or Vlad Guerrero Jr. is, but like at a good level, where like basically he's hitting Luke Raley from both sides,
Yep.
like that'd be pretty good. So I really like this move. Um, hopefully he becomes the second coming of Victor Robles from last season, but it's a good move even if he doesn't perform at that level. And that's
Yep.
why I think it's really good.
I agree. I think it's a great move. As you said, we would love to have another great hitter in the lineup. I don't know whether or not Leody Tavares is going to bring that. Last season, he was a below average hitter certainly, and to start off this season, he has been certainly a below average hitter. Um, so this season, fifth percentile in hard hit rate. So not something that you're looking for out of a hitter, but as you've mentioned, his defense and his base running are both elite. So if he can even just bring solid defense and solid base running to the equation, I think that I think that he'll be worth it, especially while we're kind of holding our breath, waiting for the return of Luke Braley, waiting for the return of Victor Robles much further down the line, of course. Um, Julian, you said that he is getting an MRI in about 6 weeks. Victor Robles says
Yeah,
just to check up on that shoulder. Do you want to go into a little more detail about that?
I don't know much of details on that
Okay.
part. It's really all up in the air right
Okay.
now. He got that injury for the shoulder. He like during that San Francisco Giants series, he
Yep.
really didn't look good at the end there, where like
Yep. Yep.
he got the thing. So I don't expect him to be back in like a good amount of time. Maybe he comes back during the playoffs. Maybe he doesn't even play in the playoffs. We really never know. But the the good news is we do have the pieces now, the depth in the outfield to
Correct.
say, look, if Victor Robles is going to be gone for the whole season, at least we have somebody that gets the job
Right.
done.
Right.
And because like every Mariners player needs to do a job. Whether you're JP Crawford and you get hits, too bad he snapped his hitting streak, but whether it's that, whether it's Jorge Polanco, you lifted the offense for like a really good chunk of time. Julio Rodriguez being a great center fielder plus a good bat. Like all of these guys have a job. And I
Yep.
think Leody Taveras comes out and he says, look, I can do the right field defense that probably saves us a run down
Yep.
the road, like at some point. And then, yeah, I think that's what Leody Taveras' role is to do that job that he really needs to do, that the Mariners desperately need. So I think
Yep.
it's been good.
Yep. I would agree. Kind of wrap things up here, Julian. Mariners have one game today, Sunday, against the Blue Jays. Then a series against the Yankees at home this week. Two tough AL East opponents. Yankees have obviously been hot to start the season. The question for that series, in my opinion, is can the pitching slow down Aaron Judge and the Yankees? Julian, what is your key to the Yankees series? If you can pick out one thing that the Mariners need to do to win the Yankees series, what is it?
Yeah. One thing stopping Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, it's been it hasn't been the Yankees versus other teams. It's been Aaron Judge versus other teams. And
Yep,
Aaron Judge hits bunch of home runs. He's doing all this stuff. Even without Juan Soto, he's scoring a lot of runs. And so
absolutely.
Aaron Judge has been really good. Keep it in the zone. Um, like Aaron Judge has a good eye, but he's still prone to that swing and miss in the outer edge of the zone.
Okay.
We saw that with Munoz going against Aaron Judge. Obviously, it's Munoz. Like you're getting that
Yes.
swing and miss from Munoz, but we did see Aaron Judge's swing and miss coming into play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When the game gets on the line, Aaron Judge tends to scuffle. Like
Yep.
the playoffs, he batted like 200 during the playoffs. He's
Yep.
done that for the past however many years.
Yep.
Aaron Judge, if he's in the pressure zone, he'll scuffle.
Okay.
The only part where Aaron Judge will be like the best, in my opinion, is when it's like first inning.
Yep.
He's going to go and hit a home run. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
Yankees are ahead. They keep on going. If
Yep.
they can't get going, Mariners can win.
Okay. Sounds good. Stop
Yep.
Aaron Judge early and often is Julian's key to the Yankees series. That's all we have for this week, folks. Have a great week. Have a happy Mother's Day and go Mariners.
Go Mariners.